You've clicked on this video because you're interested in growing a certain type of avocado, or maybe you clicked on the video because you have a seedling and you need to graft it in order to get fruit. Well, I get a lot of questions about the timing of grafting avocados, and can you graft them when they're rapidly growing in the middle of the summer? I do here, and we get regular 100-degree temperatures. And I'm going to show you a couple examples, and I'll do a quick grafting demonstration to show you how it's done. But first, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like, the subscribe button, the notification bell. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments section below. I do my best to get back to everybody that makes comments and leaves questions. So let's take a look at the demonstration I have set up today. So first things first, you want to get all of the material you need rounded up and ready for you, because it's a fairly quick process to graft an avocado tree. You want to do it in the early morning. The earlier the better, as soon as the sun comes up. That way the plants are supple and not in a stress situation from the heat, because after all, this is a video about grafting avocados in the middle of the summertime. So here we are. It's about 68 degrees and ideal for grafting. So here we have our seedling avocado. This is a seedling of, I believe, Mexico Grande. It does good for me as a seedling. It's hardy, and what I need to do now is find my budwood from a known variety that I love the fruit from, and that'll be the giant avocado tree I grafted last year. I want to take some of that budwood and put it onto this seedling. So let's walk over there real quick. We have all of our equipment sterilized. You always want to make sure your equipment's sterilized. You want to make sure that you have your grafting tape, which is parafilm M, I like. You could have parafilm grafting tape or buddy tape right there, but most likely I'll use this parafilm M. So let's take our cutting shears, and we're going to go over here and find a branch that fits the size of the diameter of my seedling. And it looks like this one's going to be it. Yeah. So let me see if I can do this with one hand. So here's what we got. The buds are pushing. You want the buds from the donor tree to be pushing. You also want the seedling to be having some movement too. As you can see, this guy is fairly rapidly growing. It's got some buds swelling. And so yeah, we're going to remove all these leaves off this thing, and we'll match up the diameter of the seedling to the the seedling to the budwood scion. This is called a scion. So here we have the budwood trimmed, the scion. We have it trimmed. There's a few little nubs left over from the cutting off the leaves, but you can see it has some rapidly growing buds. I'm doing this one-handed, so I apologize if the quality's not great. There we go. You can see that perfectly. So we're going to measure up and see which one the diameter is accurate. I wish I could get some better without the light, but hey, the sun is shining in, early morning sun. So we're going to, I think right about there is good. I like to have a couple leaves down below where you make your cut. We're going to cut right there, and that's where we're going to graft. So we've decided we're going to cut right there. Let's see if we can get that in clear. We're going to cut right there. It's not important the location, except for the diameters should come close to the same diameter. The donor wood, or the scion, can be, there we go, can be a little bit smaller than the budwood, but as you can see, you got the white center of the seedling, and then you have the green bark, and the layer right in between that white material and the green bark is the cambium layer. And that's what we're going to want to get matched up. So here we go. We got this guy. So looks like a pretty darn good match. So we're going to trim them up, split the seedling, and insert the budwood into the seedling. But before we do that, we need to wrap our scion, our donor material, in parafilm, and this is parafilm M, laboratory film. You can use other types of grafting tape such as buddy tape, and I think parafilm also makes a specific grafting tape, but I like this type because it becomes like a skin around the material you're grafting. You stretch it a little bit. Let me see if we can see that. Oh, that's a little bit too hard. Some people wrap it from the bottom. I like to wrap it from the top. Just a matter of personal preference. Somebody may make a comment that they wrap it from the bottom. You can do it either way. And you want to make sure that it's completely covered and so that it stays hydrated. You don't want it to dry out during our hot summers. Today we're predicted to be, I believe, 98. There we go. And I leave a little tab there. Trim this off just a little bit. It's a little rough, but you know what? It'll be fine. So now what we need to do is we need to make diagonal cuts into the wood. Don't know if you can see that. And you want to expose those cambium layers. And let me see if we can see that. So as you can see, here's the cambium layer on this right there. And right there. And so what we need to do is, I think once I cut this just a little, it'll be okay. I need to do a little bit of trimming on the bottom of it because I don't like the little flap on there. So there we go. We got this guy like that. And you know what? I'm going to take it down. Right, what it is we have right here, we have a bud sticking out. And normally that's really good, but if you notice that the shape of the budwood has, whenever I took cut it, it took a weird shape, and I don't like that. I like a good matching shape. So it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna do it. So there's a little bit better. Now you can see that this bud is going to be right in the wedge that's going to be sticking out of the graft union, and that may take off first. I'll do a little bit more trimming. But you can see there's the cambium layer. I apologize if I'm not getting this straight in there. A little bit more. This is just a little bit soft. So what we've done is we've made a split straight down the middle of the seedling, the trunk of the seedling. So we went down, being very careful, because if you don't, it can be very, very, the blade is very sharp and it can really, and we opened it up just a little bit so that we can fit our scion in. We have down here, I should keep my, hopefully that's clear, and we insert the scion into you can see I'm going to push it in a little bit farther. The sun's shining on there. Hopefully the sun, we're going to get that thing right in there. Look at that. That's great. Excellent. So as you can see, they match up. Budwood has to match up with the scion. Excuse me, the scion needs to match up with the seedling. So what I do then is I take a little bit more tape, more parafilm, stretch it out. In this one hand, so I apologize. So we're going to wrap that around. So we've got it wrapped around. I apologize, I'm doing this one-handed. This is probably not the best way. I should have my lovely camera lady doing it, but there we go. So we're going to pull that tight. And that's just about it. The only other thing you need to do is I like to put a rubber band around it. As you can see, a rubber band around it to hold it in place as the new growth starts to push. Sometimes you want to do this somewhat firm. Sometimes it will try to push the rather than heel over, it will try to push the so there we go. Now, the discussion is, it's going to be almost 100 today. What do we do? Well, come over here and we put this in the shade. It's a bright shade, but it's in the shade nevertheless. Now, this will remain in the shade for about a month. But let's take a look at some that I did just a few months ago. Actually, I did these about a month ago. I grafted these avocados onto seedlings back in August. And as you can see, they took off. And the day that I grafted these things, I believe we were like 100 degrees. And a close-up, you can see how well the cambium layers have matched and fused together. And that's the goal. You want really good, healthy seedlings. And yeah, look at that. I grafted this August 15th. And that's one thing I forgot to mention to everybody. Also, make sure to label your grafts. You want to be able to remember, down the road, you want to remember when you had grafted these things. But yeah, this one was grafted August 20th, 2021. So this being in September, that was only a month ago. And on one of them, I've got over a foot, maybe 18 inches of new growth. So yes, you can graft these darn things even in the summertime. But once you graft them, you want to graft them in the morning time and when it's the coolest part of the day so that they don't stress. And then you want to put them in the bright shade if there's such thing. I am very successful. These I grafted a little bit high. If I could have, I would have grafted them a little bit low, but I did with what I could with the budwood. I grafted them high, but they'll be fine. My name is Jeff, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like, the subscribe button, notification bell. If you have any comments and questions, leave them in the comment section below. I do my best to get back to everybody, and I know you guys have questions from time to time, so go ahead and leave them. You have a great day.